biggest decisions are made in the capital cities of each state. Today, we're making a big decision ourselves. We're deciding the second winner in East Coast Cup Series competition. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Richmond Raceway. We're in Richmond, Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we are ready to go for 15 laps. I've got my booth partner right beside me, as per the usual today. Gavin Beers, welcome to the booth. Welcome to Virginia. How are we going to see this race play out here today?
Well, first, to start, we're coming off of a fantastic race in Pittsburgh. Wild finish, cars upside down, side by side, crashing everywhere. And we're expecting to see just about the same today in Richmond.
Yeah, hopefully not cars upside down. I mean, chaos at the finish last week in Pittsburgh. We saw Tyler Reddick take the win, but Joey Logano is looking for redemption after a midweek last week. He is good on fire off with the fresh tires, but on the old tires, he will slip back. So watch for the 22 to have some rough restarts here today in Richmond.
Starting fourth behind him is the 11 of Denny Hamlin. He was fastest in first practice yesterday, and he is very good ripping that outside line around these corners. Not so good on the inside, but once he gets outside with some clean air in front of him, he's hard to beat.
Yeah, that's a unique thing for Hamlin. We don't see that high line being typically an advantage in Richmond. He's been able to master that this weekend. Chase Elliott, looking for redemption from last week, led into the final corner, got the bumper from Eric Jones, went up the track and ended up not coming to the line, just short. He was fastest in second practice. He looks to get redemption this weekend at a track he is solid at.
And starting a little bit further back, the 16 of AJ Allmendinger starting in 15th. A little bit of a surprise qualifying run coming out of that 16 crew for Colleague Racing. But on these short tracks, they are very close to road courses with low banking. It's a very good rhythm that you have to get into to make laps around these racetracks, and it's just what that 16 is good at.
Yes, he is. You know, AJ is very energetic with his wins as well, and maybe we can see that here today. Let's jump into our starting lineup. We touched on Joey Logano with the pole position. Right next to him, Ross Chastain. A great qualifying effort for the Team Trackhouse #1. He's looking to bounce back from last week after having a midweek. See Chase Elliott looking for redemption. He will start in 8th.
A lot of big drivers back here in rows 4, 5 through 8. Ryan Blaney starting back here, as well as some other names like William Byron, Alex Bowman, and that surprise winner or qualifier of AJ Allmendinger in that 16 car. These are all drivers starting in the midfield. They're going to have to work their way up early in the race.
Yes, they are. We see a former Richmond winner. It's Chris Buescher there as well. Shane Van Gisbergen, one of those guys who's good on these shorter racetracks. Obviously, just like AJ Allmendinger, similar to those road courses. We'll see how that plays into the style of the 88 today.
A little bit further back, we see a couple bigger names in the field. Austin Cindric, Riley Herb, Stenhouse, other drivers back there like Tony Stewart in the 14, who had a great run a race ago in Pittsburgh. Couldn't quite get the qualifying run done here today in Richmond, but he's looking for a way to get back up there as well.
This is, of course, surprise starting at the back. It's Todd Gilliland in the 34. You don't expect to see him qualify last in the front row machine. Definitely not living up to that name today. We'll see how many spots he can pick up today, but Gavin, let's touch on how this track has raced this weekend. We talked about Denny Hamlin being good up on that high side. Can other drivers take advantage of that, and how will they do so?
I think they absolutely can. You just got to take that line away from Denny Hamlin. We've seen him so good with speed in practice. He was fastest in first practice just yesterday. These drivers are going to have to go up there and take that away from him if they want to see him not get an advantage and take the lead early.
Absolutely. He's going to be a tough one to hold off. He's going to be a tough one to pass. Denny Hamlin is both of those. The home track for the number 11 Mavis Tires and Brakes Toyota will be exciting to see how he can stay up to the front and possibly park in the victory lane today.
It's going to be interesting to see who could do what trying to do this. Obviously, qualifying matters so much here on these short tracks. Denny Hamlin, you mentioned that hometown driver racing in his home state. It is so special to be able to qualify up at the front and start there. He's going to try to stay there for the rest of the race. But now, let's go down to fire the engines for the command. Let's go down to the cool style.
Richmond fans, are you ready to see racing at America's premier short track? Drivers, start your engines!
Thank you, Cool Style, for the command. The crowd is electric, and these cars are fired up. Joey Logano leads him off the pit lane, and we're just about ready to go. 15 laps, it's going to be aggression here in Richmond.
Going to be a sprint to the end. Who could stay up front or work their way up to the front? With two of the most aggressive drivers starting on the front row, it's Joey Logano and Ross Chastain. They lead him off turn 4, and we're underway in Richmond.
Into turn number 1, Joey Logano already clears. He pulls the crossover on the 5. Chastain will fall back to 3rd on that high side. Not working well for the 1 as it did for the 11. Logano's off 4. Back towards the lines of the Raptor restart zone. He leads lap 1.
Great start by the 22, and Larson follows suit behind him. He's able to clear for 2nd, side by side, and now 3 wide back here for 5th. That's Keselowski. On the top of 2, Joe Gibbs' teammates Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin leads them to turn 3.
Oh, man, that's tight. That is big tight for the 20, the 11, and the 6. You saw Keselowski back out of it. There was Hamlin. Use that high side to his advantage. We talked about it in the pre-race, and he's taking advantage early. The 11, move him up into the 4th position.
Single file up here for the first couple of positions, and here's Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney side by side, and now side by side as well throughout the pack. Here's Denny Hamlin on the inside of Reddick for 4th.
Oh man, Hamlin can make the inside line work too. We didn't see that in practice and qualifying. Hamlin has got a rocket ship in Richmond. Will he clear the 45 off forward? No, they're in the wall. The 45's in the wall, and there's smoke from our Pittsburgh winner.
And look at it stack up. Everybody behind him, the 12, the 20. They were side by side before, but everybody just accordion back up as they hit the wall there. Tyler Reddick cannot be happy with his team owner as they make contact off 4. Joey Logano, the leader at the start-finish line by a car length over Kyle Larson. And look, it's still stacked up to turn 1 behind him.
Yes, they are. Single file racing. It's going to be hard to pass here today in Richmond. Larson trying to get a run up on the 22, but Logano's still running away with it. Larson had a good exit. 4 though, can he square up the 22? He goes to the high side and 1.
And the crossover for the 5. He gets to the inside and tries to take the lead away to turn 3. He will. Kyle Larson out front in Richmond. Halfway home in this race.
Unbelievable as Kyle Larson goes to the lead. He's only the 2nd leader this race besides Joey Logano. And now he's going to try to set sail. We got a car right in the back. Hard into the wall is the 19. That is a huge hit to the left side door. Chase Briscoe's day is done with a huge smashing blow to the outside wall.
3 wide back here. The 17 on the bumper of the 19. Looks like he almost just drove straight through him. And look at the 19 pancakes the wall with the driver's side door of that car. And a huge hit into the turn 1 wall.
Yeah, it is. And that looks like a big miscommunication from the spotters. I believe the 17's trying to go all the way up to the wall. Briscoe's trying to go down low. And when you enter at the wall, you enter with more speed than you do on the inside line. And it just looks like the 17's just trying to get up there as quick as he can, trying to get away from Allmendinger, but it doesn't work. He tags the 19. Huge hit for Briscoe.
And this is just the racing that we see midway through the back of this field. Crazy racing all race long. And that is just where that accident happened between Chase Briscoe and Chris Buescher. And you see the tow truck taking that 19 car to the garage. He will be the first one out of today's race in Richmond.
A crazy first half of this race. We'll have 5 laps to go when we come back from commercial, and we'll see you when we return to the broadcast just after.
Welcome back to Richmond Raceway. We've got a race to settle. 5 laps to go to determine a winner of Race 2 in the East Coast Cup Series.
The Toyota Owners 400 winner is about to be decided. Will it be a Toyota, or will the Toyotas be owned? We're about to figure it out. 5 laps to go, and they're into the Geico restart zone. There's 5 to go, and Mr. Aggressive has shown up. Cannonball Chastain to the inside. He takes the lead away from the 5.
3 wide behind him as well. Here comes the 20, moves up to second, takes the spot away from the 5. But look at this, a land rush behind him to turn 3.
Yes, there is. Chastain leads him into 1, and here comes Mr. Consistent, Christopher Bell. Mr. Consistent, Mr. Aggressive. 2 big boys at the front of the field. They're chasing each other down. It is going to be a finish for the ages. There is just 3 laps to go in the Toyota Owners 400.
Chastain to the middle line. Bell down low, hugs that white line, or yellow line rather. Now they come off turn 2, and a half a car length separates them. Chastain to 3 and 4. He goes low. Bell follows right behind him, and it's 2 more times around in Richmond.
Larson's caught up. If these 2 get together, that 5 will have something to say. A lower entry for Bell. A lower exit for Bell. The 20 to the inside. He goes to the lead. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go in Richmond. There's contact almost.
Oh, he could have slid up right there. There he goes. Clear for the 20 car. What does Chastain have to do with about it? Final time off turn 2 and down the backstretch for Bell.
He's into turn 3. It's Mr. Consistent getting his first East Coast Cup Series win. It's back-to-back for Toyota, and it's Christopher Bell who wins the Toyota Owners 400. The Toyotas own the show, and they don't get owned today in Richmond.
And take a look at how it happened. Here's the restart. Larson and Logano on the front row. Look at Christopher Bell back there in that yellow car. Started 5th with 5 laps to go. Chastain made that crazy move to the inside, and Bell followed him right through, moved his way to 2nd, making up 3 positions in 1 quarter.
That was a big door opener for the 20. He got a great turns 1 and 2 there. This is coming to the white flag. You saw contact almost made. Bell breaks the side draft. He's off turn 4, a winner in the East Coast Cup Series.
What a great performance it was by that 20 car. Meant to be restarted 5th, and here he is on the front. He's to serve up some donuts and Richmond.
Yes, he is. There's some tasty donuts. He does the burnouts on the front straightaway. Christopher Bell is an East Coast Cup Series winner. Mention it in the finish. It is back-to-back to start off the season for Toyota. Can they carry the momentum into Pigeon Forge next week? The first road course in the East Coast Cup Series. I mean, that's going to be thrilling. Can't wait to see what they can do.
Yeah, and take a look at the finishing results here. A lot of big names up at the front of this field, and another one, AJ Allmendinger. We mentioned him during the pre-race. Was good on these tracks, just like the road courses. He was able to come home P12.
Yeah, it was guys back here. Underwhelming performances from guys like Byron. You see Carson Hocevar back here. Tough performance for him. You see John Nemechek with a solid day, finishing 19th. These guys back here, some disappointments as well with Chase Briscoe with the wreck midway through this race.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe crushing for him. Didn't have a great race 1. Now here he is, the only car to exit the race here in Richmond. He will not get points, as well as just about anybody else. Only the top 10 getting points. So anybody who finished below 10th position is going to have to put their best foot forward, move on to next week at Pigeon Forge, and they have to be perfect. Now with 2 races completed in this season, races winding down pretty quickly, this championship race is going to come up very fast. And if you don't have enough points, well, you're going to be left out of it.
Exactly, and this is not a win and you're in. There's no gimmicks, there's no wins, playoffs, none of that. It is a straight points battle of the line, so you do have to be perfect all season, as Gavin mentioned. The guy who was perfect at the end of this race, it's Christopher Bell. Congratulations to ECSRN. Know you're happy out there about that one, but the confetti has fallen in victory lane. This race is official as Bell takes the checkers.
A huge point day for the 20 car, who didn't have such a great race 1, comes here today in Richmond and wins the race. Closes that battle down to 9 points between being the point leader and where he sits currently in 4th. There's the 20 of Christopher Bell in victory lane, the winner of the Toyota Owners 400.
Yeah, great showing for the 20 in the last couple laps. Here we talked about his very mid race 1 at the Pittsburgh Raceway. Didn't pick up any points. These 15 points are what you pick up for winning races. So that's what he did today, a unique points format. But thank you to all of those who signed up to try to understand this unique points format. I appreciate you guys following along. Again, congratulations to ECS Racing Network. You see his name in green. Signed up for Christopher Bell, and he is your winner here today. But yeah, thank you to everybody who signed up and has supported this series thus far. I really do appreciate it. Special shout outs to Gavin Beers. Thank you so much for being in the booth. Special shout out to Cool Style for helping with the command, and MLCS Racing Network, Speed Cup Style Motion, and ECSRN for the extra motivation. Thank you guys so much for watching here today in Richmond. I hope you guys did enjoy. And we've got a crazy, chaotic road course race coming up for you guys next. We'll see you in the mountains of Tennessee. See you guys in Pigeon Forge in a couple of weeks.